All right, welcome in to Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. This one coming to you after the Boston Bruins skate to a 3-1 victory on Long Island as they beat the Islanders in the season series 3-0 this year. A grinded out effort for the Boston Bruins. We'll get into everything that happened in this one. This episode of Morning Brew and Jaffe and Razor presented by the wonderful people at Sparks Hockey, Fazenda Coffee, Copeland Automotive Group, and Sunset Lake CBD. Razor, the Bruins finish up the road trip, 4 games in 9 days, basically. Then they get out, they go 3 out west, they come back cross country, have a full day off on the island, and they find a way to win a game where the New York Islanders at times I thought they looked pretty darn good, very fast, very aggressive, thought defensively pretty robust. But it's the Bruins that come through and in a very important W heading off the road, or getting off the road, I should say.
Yeah, getting off the road ASAP. They can't get in that bird and get out of there fast enough. And Marco Sturm said it as much. Like those 2 days in between made it worse. Basically, They don't help. You're just on the road longer. So gutsy win. All in all, a pretty gutsy road trip. I love pretty good efforts all the way around. Hung with it, but this was the gutsiest, and at the end of the day, the most important. I mean, to take 6 points from the New York Islanders and only give up 1, that could play a factor in wild card 1 and 2 in a few months from now.
Yeah, and it's not glass half full. I mean, 2-2. All right, you get 500. We said before the trip 500 would be good.
Correct.
We're given the injuries to Arvidsson, Casey Middlestat, Charlie McAvoy, Elias Lindholm was still out of the lineup before they went on this trip. So a lot of uncertainty, right? But also they should have, they give up the point where in Anaheim, even in San Jose, it was a good game, a winnable game, but you still didn't win. So you can't BS about it, but at least the efforts were there. That really consistently they've been there.
No, that's it. And we said it on the post game. That's for me, that's why I feel good about this group. 14-11, and they were, pulling stuff out of their ass and getting lucky and just not doing the right things, but it was somehow falling into place with 7-6 wins. It wouldn't feel the same as this for me, is them losing 7 in a row and coming back and fighting back and winning 6 in a row, and then having these injuries, but finding ways to stay 500 through these injuries. Swayman playing really well, Korpisalo playing well at other times, a third line, a pretty legit third line. I know we're going to talk about them, but
we can go there right now.
You can talk about, you always talk about third line being the most important line on a Stanley Cup winning team. Just the easiest one to look at is the one last year with Brad Marchand, as all Bruins fans know, and the 2 Finns, the young guys running around on the other side of them. This is a legit third line that the Bruins have found, and it's provided a lot of stability through these injuries. And Jeannot gets the winner tonight. I know Steeves got the 2 goals, but they're really being impactful all over the place.
They sure are. Love how they have been, the usage by Marco Sturm. Seemingly they start, maybe not every game, but they start every period, it feels like, the second and third period, right, when they come out of the locker room. I'm sure I'm missing something, and this is probably not an accurate statement, but it's a somewhat accurate statement. It feels like coming out of every TV timeout, situationally speaking, if the faceoffs, especially in the D zone or neutral zone, he's going with them. He's going with them. Maybe not in the offensive zone, Razor, because you want to get Pastas and Geekies and Sakas out there, etc. But he utilized them a ton, and their minutes in this game showed. Fraser Minten played 15 and a half minutes. Mark Kastelik, 15 and a half minutes. Tanner Jeannot, 16-10, including 227 shorthanded. Tanner Jeannot never killed penalties before this year. I mean, it was like seconds per season. And so there was articles about it. We've talked about it a couple of times. But the opportunity to get some special teams time, especially on the PK, it is so different. It's funny how the PK is such an intense, very on your toes type of moment, right? And it does something, it triggers something in your brain. No matter what level you're playing at, it just gets you going, right? Heart races up. Power play, meanwhile, there's a kind of movement. You're looking for that nice play and you're looking to score a goal. And if you don't score a goal, oftentimes you leave disappointed. But if you're out there for 20 or 30 seconds on the PK and you block a shot or deflect the pass, you feel effing great. It's so different, amazing. And I think it's done an awful lot for him being on the PK. All of them, in that regard.
No, it has all of those things. And then, again, all accounts coming out of LA last season and into the summer when Jeannot got signed and people, 5 years, all accounts was he was being misplayed and not being played enough. And the reality is, if you don't play special teams, you're a 10 or 11-minute guy in this league. There's just too many penalties. There's too many things happening. If you're not on either unit, there's just not enough 5-on-5 minutes available for you. So I think we're seeing him being casted better than what he was in Los Angeles, and he's taking advantage of it, which everybody who's played or played with or coached talked about Tanner being the ultimate character guy, and he would always figure something out if you gave him the chance. And the Bruins have done that. But like you said, it also creates a ton of energy for those guys because you are more successful more time than not. When you play 5-on-5 and you don't score, you feel like you haven't done anything. Right. But a PK, you can feel 90% of the time you feel great. It's a mental thing that you can do and rally around, and it's easier, like you said. It's a great point to be positive when you're on that PK.
It's a lot of fun, and I think both all three guys, Minton, Kaslik, and Jeannot, but in particular the veterans, Jeannot and Kaslik, they got to look, left wing to right wing to left wing, and say, "I got my buddy riding shotgun with me out here. This is fun.
Yeah,
we can go out here." And I don't know how much intimidation is left in the game, but I can't imagine that those two guys on the same line aren't at least many players in this league they go against somewhat intimidating. I'm not even talking about the fighting. I'm just talking about just the aggressive nature of
them. They get to hit whoever they want, right? Either one of them or both of them, in most cases, they get to hit whoever they want. They don't have to worry about, this guy's they can do. And when it comes, they're not going to intimidate anybody because they know they're not fighting 98% of the guys, but they can hit anybody and there's no repercussion for them.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And speaking of good stuff, let's just jump right to Fraser Minton's play, leading to Steeves' second goal, the first shorthanded goal of the season for the. Meanwhile, Steeves now killing penalties because they just, they need it, right? Yeah. Just the way the situation goes. It's in the third period, and the Bruins. Would you agree? It didn't feel like, even though they were being vastly outshot and out zone timed, if that's a term, in the third period by the Islanders, it didn't feel like they were hanging on for dear life, at least to me. Did it feel like that to you at all?
No, they were pretty compact in the middle of the ice. They were staying together. They weren't getting opened up. They weren't chasing. They weren't running. It wasn't seam pass after seam pass. And I think that's why Jeremy had the success he did in the third. There was no east-west. Or for instance, the Islanders' goal that they did score, not to get off track too far, there was none of that in the third.
Right.
There was no running around. There was no far cross ice passes or anything was beaten. Everything was in front of everybody, which for me is the same way. Like it felt controlled.
And that's amazing, given the fact that the Bruins were outshot 23-3 in the third period. Yeah. I mean, if you just looked at the box score, you would say the Bruins got their absolute lunch handed to them in the third period. And while they needed some big saves, I could easily count a half dozen big saves, maybe even more by Swayman. Again, the vibe check, as I like to call it, didn't feel like it was scramble time. With all that said, back to Fraser Minton's play and Steeves' goal. Halfway through the third period, Geeky's off for yet another Bruins tripping penalty. I mean, I should know at least,
Killing me.
I think 7 tripping penalties in the last 2 games, if I remember correctly. And maybe you go back to more. It's unbelievable. It's got to stop. Regardless, Schaefer has the puck, left point, basically coming in and trying. And boy, this kid moves so well laterally and explosiveness. And anyways, he tries to kind of dance into the inside a little. Fraser Minton doesn't get caught, even though he's a little outside. He has stick to the puck. And Fraser Minton just connects with it a little bit and forces Schaefer to just push the puck off, and it goes directly over to Steeves, who had held his spot middle of ice. Steve takes off. It's a 2-on-1, and I should remember this. I'm going to say at the offensive blue line. He gives the puck to Minton. Was maybe a little before that, maybe offensive blue line.
I was just going to say, within 2 feet either side.
Okay, he gives it to Minton. Minton's on the left side. He gets it, but Schaefer's back there because Schaefer recovers, right? It's just phenomenal how quickly the kid gets back. He's back. And yet then he does the toe drag. It's more of a drag in play where he keeps the puck on the backhand part of his stick. Sliding by goes Schaefer, and then it's a beautiful pass to the right side to Alex Steve, who one time slams it past Ilya Sorokin, who's moving from his blocker right side over to the left. And the Bruins go up 3-1. Steve scored, hell of a play by him, but it was all made by the play of Fraser Minton right there. That is a heady veteran play that this kid made, who I thought top 3 games of his young career, maybe even higher than that. I thought he played that.
Yeah, it was, and continues to just build, continues to grow, continues to. Nothing flashy. Like even the 2-on-1 play was just a pro move. Nothing, not between the leg, nothing, no Instagram worthy stuff. Just hard nosed, heady hockey sense. Schaefer loses his feet. Okay, now I just have to get past this. If I get past this, now I have options. He finds Steve. He rips the pass across too. Steeves did a good job. He talked about it after. He was a little handcuffed, which made it hard for Sorokin because he was able to hit it even though he was handcuffed. But just a great second effort in the defensive zone that turned into offense at the other end. And Fraser, the kid has been well coached. He's obviously has a good circle around him because he talked about it out of camp. But I'm going to take any minutes I can because if I get out there, that's going to allow me to get opportunities to score. I don't need to get points. I don't need to, as long as I worry about getting out on the ice, those extra 2 or 3 minutes I get with good play defensively, like tonight, will create offense for me one way or the other. So he's got a good head. He's mature, like everyone talks about, and it was a mature play tonight to get the insurance.
So after a couple of games where basically it was Morgan Geekie having to provide the offense, it was all Geekie, coming through for this team. The Bruins, they weren't lamenting, but they're saying they needed some other guys to come through. Well, lo and behold, Steve scores 2 goals. Tanner Jeannot scores a goal. Corrali picks up an assist. Minton picks up 2 assists. They get that depth. Steeves was actually situated on the 4th line to begin this game. So after seeing some lineup changes from between when we last sat down and did Morning Brew, on Saturday morning, that was after the Bruins game against LA, before they lost to San Jose the next night, but different lines. Is Blumel started up top with the other checkmates with Pasta and Zaka. But Steeves was on the 4th line, and yet here he comes through. Again, scores the first goal of the game for the Bruins. A good battle around, the net. He ends up getting it, and then Corrali and Asimont with the assist, and then Jeannot comes through in the second period early on in the first shift. Yeah, it was the end of the first shift. Fraser Minton again, middle of ice. The puck bounces off him to Jeannot. So important, Razor, that they get this depth scoring coming through, because I didn't think Geekie and Pasta and Zaka and Elias Lindholm, I didn't really notice them that much in this game against the Isles.
No, it was exactly like Carolina. And after the Carolina game last Monday, or 2 weeks ago Monday, Marco Sturm said, we need the other guys to play a game like tonight. We needed the other guys. Like, we can't rely on Pasta to be ready for games all the time in these situations. And this was a game tonight that it's hard for the Stars to go. They're going to do their thing. They're going to get 20 minutes. They're not going to get scored on. They're going to create. If they only get one power play chance on top of it,
Right.
you're really not going to see them in this game. It's really hard for them to do that after they've just carried you for 3 previous games. So this is exactly what Marco Sturm was talking about after the Carolina game. I think the message was sent and the message was received in this game. This was the one where they needed the extra guys, and those guys showed up tonight. So good on them, and good on the Bruins finding a way to go 2-2.
Let's do our spark of the game. Now, in our post-game show on Nesson, we were told that the player of the game ended up being Steeves, which I was fine with. We joked about it. Alex Steeves, 2 goals, first ever 2-goal game as an NHLer. But it could go to Jeremy Swayman for his 23 saves in the third period. How about it could go to the PK, 4 for 4, another great game. Since you did not get to select the post-game star of the game, and every once in a while, folks, we have fun with the star of the game. We try and give it to the one that we really thought that, but we like to have a little fun with it here and there. But in this one, Razor was like, kind of thought maybe Swayman. Do you want to give him the spark, or who do you want to give the spark to? Let's give the spark of the game to somebody.
No, we have to like, I would have given it to the shorthanded play. I feel like Jeannot's play was pretty good too, but it seemed kind of like too far back.
Okay.
Too many saves happened. But I think because there wasn't one save from Jeremy. That was like a collaborative third period where he was very good. So I would give it to the third goal and the shorthanded guys, even though we've already talked about them.
Okay.
I know we can segue into Swayman after it. And the spark for me was that play in shorthanded, first one of the year, and gave them the insurance like that. Now they're winning.
All right. Well, let's talk then about Sparks Hockey. SparksHockey.com. The Sparks Sharpener is the finest at-home sharpener that you can find. Go check them out at SparksHockey.com. For a limited time, the holiday deal. You ready for this? Something really, really, it's the perfect holiday gift. If you know anybody, whether it's your family or somebody else's family, they got limited edition holiday bundles for $999. You're saving over $150 on that. They're also doing $100 off other bundles. This is a product that you will use for years. It will more than pay for itself. It will make your life so much easier. Or if you're giving it to somebody, they're going to be like, oh my God, you just saved my life. Check out sparkshockey.com. And especially right now, folks, next couple of weeks, it's Black Friday time, right? So check them out.
I was thinking about this is probably the best product. This is my most favorite hockey product of all times. And I was like, how do I, when you talk about ROI, if you just want to talk about the return on the investment, I've had mine for 6 years, and the kids go down, they sharpen their own skates. They do it every weekend or whenever they want. Every once in a while, they yell at me because the wheel needs to be replaced and it's not working. I haven't done anything to it. It just sits there and it sharpens over and over and over. It's an absolute no-brainer, everybody, especially if you have young kids or more than one kid. It saves so much time and effort and money at the end of the day.
Absolutely love it. I also love the play of Jeremy Swayman lately, Razor.
Yeah.
It has gotten to another level. Do we feel like, when I say, I'll ask, is he back to that level before last year that we said, okay, this is where he needs to be. This is how he needs to play. Are you like, as a former NHL goalie, as a guy who's, worked with NHL goalies too at times, are you looking at him and saying, yes, it is clearly there, or are you still waiting to see it for longer? Where are you at on it?
Well, no, you have to do it longer, of course. You have to do it 8 months a year, every year. That's the job. That's the requirement. But what I've enjoyed, what I really like is he's found it. You also have to have monster months. To have good seasons, you have to have an awesome month or probably 2 awesome months. And then the other month, again, you kind of dip down a little bit. And that's where Korpisalo comes in. He jumps in like in October, what Korpisalo did. And he buoys everything in the goalie position. Now, Sway, he's had his month. November's his month. He's 7-2, 936 save percentage. His goal saved above expected. It's through the roof this month. And that now sets you up for the next couple of months to just continue to maintain. You don't have to chase now. You just have to maintain. And that's the biggest part for a starting goalie in the National Hockey League, is to get it to the point where, okay, I know I'm always going to have an amazing month. And the rest of the time I'm going to manage. I'm going to be 1 or 2 games over 500 every month. And then I'm going to go 7-2. I'm going to go 8-2. I'm going to go 9-2 one of these months. And then I'm going to end up with 35 wins. And that's, so Jeremy's done that. He's set himself up in a really good position here. He's done a really good job putting himself in the Olympic team conversation here. There's a lot of other names. And at the end of October, his numbers didn't stack up. Now they do. So that gives you confidence, that builds. But that, for me, that's the big thing, is that he's got himself in a perfect position to just maintain now and win games.
I always like to ask you this, and we put out our thoughts. You got back-to-back games, home on Friday afternoon against the Rangers, Saturday at home at night against the Detroit Red Wings. You've played now a couple of games for Sway again. You play him on Friday coming home after a quick travel, night. You have Thursday off, but it's not much rest at all, and you're back early on Friday. You play him Friday in the national game against the Rangers, a conference opponent, but not a divisional opponent? Or do you play him Saturday against Detroit, the divisional opponent, and you give him that extra rest? So where do you think that ends up being?
Well, if it was me, I would, and I was the guy, and I kind of had a say in this. I want to play after this game tonight. I want to play Friday. And then I always wanted to play an afternoon game, because then I get Friday night. I have all day Saturday to relax. I can get a little work in with goalie Bob. I can do work on a few technical things, and then I'm shutting my brain off for the rest of the day. And Monday's probably a day off again. And then I go and have a pregame skate in Detroit and get to work. So I would guess that going off of that, Swayman plays Saturday, Swayman plays Friday, Korpisalo plays Saturday night. Because again, and the other side of it is, if I'm the backup, I don't want to play right after Thanksgiving, no pregame skate, not feeling it a little bit. That it sets me up better for success if I haven't played in 8 days, to have a pregame skate and a full normal routine day.
It's going to be interesting to see what Bob and the coaching staff, I'm assuming Bob leads it, and then Marco, they discuss that.
If they win, it's Bob's. It's all Bob. If they
Right.
lose, it's the goalie and the head coach. That's how Bob stays alive.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Let's quickly recognize our sponsors here. Then I want to talk about the play and / injury of Mate Blumel, where that leaves the Bruins. I want to talk about a couple of defensemen as well, like Zadorov and Aspero, even Mason Lowry as well, the way they played some defensive stuff. Let's talk first about Fazenda Coffee. Fazenda Coffee is just Boston's finest boutique roaster. Go to fazendacoffee.com, and specifically fazendacoffee.com /morning brew to get all things morning brew. They've got this great bundle going as well. They got the coffee, morning brew blend. They got the clean canteen, Traveler, and the hat, and you get it for $75. It's just great. Go online, fazendacoffee.com /morning brew. Check it out. And if you want something different, just go to fazendacoffee.com and check out all the different brews and blends and everything, the roasts that they've got. They're phenomenal customer service. They'll grind your coffee if you want it not whole bean, etc. Fazendacoffee.com. They are wholesale. They are retail. They are what you want. I can't wait to have mine early tomorrow morning before I start putting the house together. We got a lot of other stuff to do as we get ready to host on Thanksgiving. Copeland Automotive Group. It is the place where my dear friend, Andrew Raycroft, a.k.a. Razor, goes for his cars. And Todd Copeland is just, he's just built such a wonderful company. The Copeland Automotive Group has got 5 different dealerships. He started with the Toyota in Brockton. He's got a couple of Chevrolets, and then he's got Subaru and Hyannis. Go check them out. Go to. You can count on Copeland. Count on Copeland.com. Check out where their dealerships are. If you're looking for a new car, used car, Razor, they've got it all there. And it's just, it's just the car business done right by our buddy Copey.
Yeah, no, the opposite of the stereotype of a car dealership down there. Those guys are the best. They love talking hockey, so go down. I was down there this morning.
Oh, really?
Had to get the inspection sticker before my wife took the Tahoe for a rip through upstate New York. So that is still in one piece. So you get good service, because I'm sure she was driving 110 miles an hour on the pike. It's giving me a heart attack. But it's great people, and can't recommend them enough.
You can count on Copeland, and
Yes.
You can check them out at countoncopeland.com. Again, 5 different dealerships you want to check out. Thank you to Copeland Automotive Group for supporting Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. And is Erin a fast driver? Should I know this?
It's awesome.
She is, huh?
Oh my God.
Leadfoot, huh?
Oh, it's literally like through our neighborhood. I'm like, she yells at everyone else that goes fast, right? Like anyone goes, like, wow. I'm like, dude, that's nothing compared to what you do when you rip out of this driveway. Like, what are you doing?
All right. Yeah. I will take that into consideration.
She's a asshole. Yeah.
Well, maybe we need to get her some Sunset Lake CBD stuff to bring her down a little bit, and maybe bring down her speed. You want to check out Sunset Lake CBD and sunsetlakecbd.com. You want to use the coupon code Friday25, FRIDAY25, no spaces there. Orders over $125, they unlock a free citrus flavored 750 milligram CBD tincture. You are going to love these natural products made in northern Vermont. You want to talk about people that love hockey, Cy and Rev and all the people up there. They love their Boston Bruins. They love their UVM Catamounts too, Razor, but they love making great quality products. They know the holidays are here upon us now. A lot of stress. Sometimes you just need a little something to chill you out a little, whether it's a tincture, a gummy, one of their lifted teas. They've got everything you need there to relax, to sleep. Hey, if you're even need something for your furry pet, they got stuff like that. Razor, I know, Mila's used it. Cooper's used it. We love it. And again, folks, anything over 125, Sunset Lake CBD throws in a free CBD, 750 milligram CBD. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com/morning brew. Use the code Friday25 to save 30%, and sale ends December 1st. The defense has not been using Sunset Lake CBD lately. I'm trying to think of a transition there because they haven't been mellow. They've been physical. I mean, Zadorov's been physical. Aspero's been physical. Was this... it's not that many games so far, but was this the most noticeable Aspero's been? He's over 20 minutes.
By far for me.
For you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he really stepped up. I thought he's been doing a really good job just playing within himself and doing what's asked and not, forcing anything, just playing. Tonight, I thought he broke out a little bit, and obviously the coaching staff did too. We showed the time on ice. He was third in time on ice on the back end in a 2-1 game, 3-1 game on the road. So you're getting a lot of love if you're that guy on the back end, playing his offside, playing with Zadorov. Good for him, man. Good for him. That's an unbelievable game for him to put on tape.
20-45, a +3 in that game. 3 attempts, none of them hit the net, but I mean, I'm not going to argue about that. He had 1 takeaway.
Yeah, we'll work on the snapper. Like get settled in here.
Yeah. But really some significant minutes on the PK, just under 3 minutes on the PK. And while Hampus Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov played more, and I'm going to touch on them in a moment, his minutes I felt were incredibly impactful. He had a couple of plays. He had that one play where he helped break the puck out and then became the F1, the first forward checker, where he accelerated, his butt off and he got into the O zone just to pressure. And his reads are good. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about how much he's played the offside before. Never an easy thing, but he has taken it. He's a man of a few words, as we've, they've interviewed him. Adam has interviewed him a few times, and I'm sure you've talked to him, but he's a guy that is listening. He's listening, whether it's to Zadorov or Leach or Sturm. He's listening to become better. And I give the kid credit at 26 making his NHL debut. You got to have that mental and intestinal fortitude, Razor, to stick it out when you're played. What was it, 5 years in the American League before getting a chance?
No, exactly. And you also have to have a whole hum. It's hard to be a whole hum at 26. Like it can be, it's sometimes easier to be a whole hum at 21. You're like, I'm Fraser Minton. I'm supposed to do this. This is exactly my path. At 26, you're like, oh shit, you're almost too aware at times. And this is my last chance. And this is my, and he's been able to harness all of that and really take his experience, and he continues to build on it.
Nikita Zadorov continuing to build off a phenomenal season for him. 27-38. Hampus Lindholm ended up playing 23-33. Nikita Zadorov played 5 minutes and 11 seconds shorthanded, 3 hits in the game, was greeted with boos by Islander fans because of what happened last game against Schaefer. And I think I read a quote, and I'm paraphrasing post-game, about how he was asked if he heard about the boos, and he said, they booed me? I thought it sounded like quiet again, like a library again. So the man is not afraid to have a little fun with things. Hampus Lindholm, as I said, 23.5 minutes. He had 2 blocked shots, and he had another shot on goal, and he played 4 minutes shorthanded. Again, very important minutes for the Bruins. The other player, and we can go through everybody, but I just want to touch on was Lowry, just 12:51. Now, the Bruins only had 1 power play. So let's just say they had 3, and we touched on this post game on Nesson. He maybe gets another 50 seconds, right? 60 seconds, 25 per power play, maybe 30 even. So an extra minute, let's say. So he gets just below 14 minutes. That's pretty much where they've been playing him now, 14, 15 minutes, depending on what's happening.
Yep.
You made it the point. I'll let you make it again, how it's the old less has become more recently for Mason Lowry.
It has. And it's okay. They tried to ramp him up at the start of this season, coming off of last season where he was playing all the time because they had no other choice. And it didn't matter, especially at the end where you want to just get him experience. They tried to ramp him up at that point with McAvoy and top pair, etc. Didn't work. He had to sit out 5 games. He had a healthy scratch 5 games because it was affecting the team. So now you start back all the way at square one again. And that's the message from the coaching staff. This is okay. You're going to work yourself back into this. You have to prove to us. You lose a little bit of trust with new coaches, and you have to build that trust back up. And I thought he did a great job of doing that tonight. I think when they go back and watch the tape, they're gonna see the same plays that we saw where, hey, he did a good job closing out here. Hey, he did a good job putting his body in it. Hey, he was physical. He went looking for a little physicality here. So again, this is part of the development, and I think they found that sweet spot. Tonight isn't the game he's going to play a lot in, even if he was the only defenseman. This just isn't his game. A 2-1, they don't have the puck very much. They're in their own zone a lot. There's no power plays. At best, it's a 15-minute game when he's at his best. But they did a good job managing it, and there'll be other games where he gets 16 minutes, 17 minutes because they're behind or it's an offensive type game.
I like how he played in his own zone, especially in the first period. We showed it in intermission. I like how he closed. I like how he competed, how he shut down a few guys from the Islanders. They're a fast team. He can skate well. So that did play into his strength. And this is from our buddy from WEEI, Scott McLaughlin, that Lowry has been on the ice now for just 1 goal against in his 8, coming into this one, 8 games, so around 9 games since he had been a healthy scratch.
Yeah, and that builds confidence too, right?
Sure.
When you're not playing all the time, when you're not playing 20 minutes and getting scored on 3 times, now you're playing 12 and not getting scored on. That builds massive confidence in a young guy. Makes you feel better.
Yeah. Let's hope. That would be good. All right, quickly, one other thing here. Let's hope that Mate Blumel is okay. He played 2 shifts. He's out of the lineup for the rest of the game as an injury after his turnover not getting a turnover. Didn't get it in deep at the offensive blue line. It was a flipping attempt that Schaefer was able to easily knock down. They go back the other way. Eventually, Barzell scores. Right off the end of the goal, though, Blumel battling on the other side. I believe it was Anders Lee, a big boy himself. He ends up spinning him a bit, and he kind of flails in his. You could see that it was either a knee or something that was injured there. He didn't play after that. Now, I don't quite honestly, I don't know how much he would have played after that, anyways, given the turning the puck over at the blue line, and it was around. He had 2 or 3. I think it was 2 other giveaways. Let's just assume he can't play come this weekend. Let's just assume that. And I don't even think he would be in there. Like, he needs to get back again, even though they want him to be an NHLer. He's got to get back to scoring and doing the right thing at the American League level. Do you call up somebody else? I mean, the scoring's kind of dried up down in the American League, given the call-ups. That's normal. But do you try a Merkulov? Do you try? It's either Merkulov or Patra, from what I gather. Do you try one of them, or do you just move Steeves back up and insert Tufte onto the fourth line, or Viel? Viel has practice now.
Yeah, for this weekend, my guess it's it's the second option. Providence is up in Canada all week. I can, you've got a quick turnaround. Thursday, you're not really messing around too much, to be honest. You've got an afternoon game, so you can't even work anyone in a morning skate. I think Friday you see Tufte jump back in, and then you can still get someone back for the game Saturday night if something's really off come Friday afternoon. So my guess is nothing drastic happens this weekend, and they kind of reset Sunday night, Monday.
They probably move Steeves up. They put Tufte or Viel in, depending on what they want to do against the Rangers. We'll see. And then they'll go from there. All right. Raycroft, dinner, lunch or dinner? Thanksgiving. What do you call it? Thanksgiving lunch or dinner? What do you call it?
Oh, no, dinner. It's mid to late afternoon. Yeah.
Okay.
Later afternoon.
I think we're having people around 4:30 come over.
Yes, we kind of go earlier just to get the cousins to play together, but we really don't eat till like that 4:00.
Will you eat to uncomfortable levels, or are you contained?
No, I'm pretty contained. Especially with turkey, it's not, I don't go crazy over. I go crazy over like the dips and the appetizers. That's a big problem for me.
It is a big problem. Yes. We pulled back on those.
Is pace, because I do really enjoy most of like the buffalo dips and all that. I could eat carrots and ranch dip like over and over and over, so I probably go crazier on that than I do the actual meal. So.
I think if I remember as a youngster, even, just a younger person, my parents would do shrimp cocktail a lot.
Yeah,
they would have that.
Exactly.
And, next thing you know, I had 19 shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'd
wonder 4 rolls.
Right. And I wonder halfway through the meal, I'm just like, I don't know if this is going so good. But then I'd feel better eventually and go back for thirds and fifths.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to having it. I know that RC is heading out on the road to do some stuff. Ryan, thank you we are thankful for having you, but thanks you for all your stuff that you do. Have a wonderful weekend there, Ryan. Enjoy your time, Razor, with your family, and I know you got your friends in the morning as well that you'll be with. We're looking forward to having some people over to the house on Thanksgiving, and then a weekend for us. We'll watch on Friday, and then we work on Saturday, so we're busy. By the way, folks, Razor and I are doing Saturday morning on EI. So Saturday morning brew with Jaffe and Razor will be on its regular time, 8 a.m. To talk all things Boston Bruins and the NHL. Bruins win. They finish the road trip 2-2. They head home from the island, get ready for a Friday matinee, the Black Friday matinee at TD Garden against the New York Rangers. We will talk to you Saturday morning. In the meantime, enjoy your turkey and, enjoy a good cup of coffee.